Hey y'all, it's Susan, and it is Friday afternoon. I'm technically at lunch. It's 3:20, or it's 3:36 right now, and I took my lunch at 3:20. It's later than usual. It has been an insane day, I tell you. I am having so many IT technical difficulties. I wish I had my own IT person, honestly. Okay, so I am so excited about this book. It's just so darn cute. Anyway, I did punch all the holes. I'm sorry, y'all. I was going to punch one in front of y'all, but if y'all want me to do something in more detail with that Zetter, I would be happy to do that. We can do another book. Just let me know. But I did punch all my pages, and I got online looking for a bigger O-wire. I guess that's what they call this, is an O-wire. And they do have some online that are an inch in diameter. This is a 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to be when I close it. So I figure if I close it and I don't like it, I will just reopen it. I will buy that inch, although I'm not sure if that 1/4 of an inch will make that big of a difference, but it might. And then you know, whatever. If I have to open it again, I'm okay with that. So basically what I have done is I have punched all of my pages. Let me get these out so I can show you, because I have a lot to do to these pages before I even put them in the O-ring. So I might try to go to Hobby Lobby this weekend. Although the last time I was at Hobby Lobby, they did not have this in a larger size. That was the largest size that they had. So let me scoot y'all up. Okay. So you can see a little better. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I have done is I have my little Z fold going, and I have punched all my little cardstock, and this is lavender, so I didn't have enough of that cream lavender, so I actually had a couple of sheets of lavender, and I thought that would be fine. So, and I alternated them. So this one's lavender, this one's cream, this one's lavender, this one's, if you can see that, this one's cream, and then the final one, or no, sorry, not the final one, this one's lavender, and then this one's cream. Okay, so what I have to do now is, I have a lot to do, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do all this online, but I might do a lot of it when I'm off. But so anyway, what I want to do is I'm going to ink my edges, all of my edges, including my cardstock. I'm going to ink all those edges with the Tim Holtz vintage photo. And I have pulled out my glitzy paper because, you know, I cannot live without it. And this is a blue glitzy paper. Isn't that gorgeous or what? I've cut my chipboard covers, and I cut my chipboard covers 1/4 of an inch. I believe it's 1/4 of an inch bigger than my page. So, or actually, it looks like about 1/2 an inch. Yeah, so the page is 4 by 7, so it's actually 4.5 by 7.5. And I took my paint and I painted the edges, including these edges here. Painted them with that blue, with the Martha Stewart pearl paint, and the blue aquarium Martha Stewart pearl paint. And I've got both of them ready. And they're going to go on the top and the bottom. And so the idea is I'm going to place the glitzy paper on the front and the back of these pages, which is that gorgeous, y'all. And then I've already cut from my blue paper that I don't have in my book already, but I have on my box. I had this image left. So this is going to go here on the top cover. And I'm going to put the glitzy paper on the other side of each cover. So that's basically what the cover is going to look like. And I'm going to probably, I don't think I'm going to ink this, but I am going to ink everything else, I think. I may not ink the glitzy paper. I'm not sure. I haven't decided about that yet. So I'm going to try to do some of that offline because that's a lot to do with y'all. You know, they're kind of boring. So, so I'll do what I can, and then if I'm feeling overly talkative, I'll come back on and do some with you. I just don't want to bore you to death with the details. But that's what we've got so far. And I think it's just going to be so pretty, y'all. I'm just so in love with this. I just love it. It just screams me. I mean, so when they open it, it's just going to be really cutesy. And then we're not done because then I want to decorate the cover of the book. And since it's smaller than the drawer, I can actually have a little fun with it. So it can be a little three-dimensional. I believe that it should fit in the drawer just fine and close and that kind of thing. Alright, so I'm going to ink some of these edges because there's probably about 50 pages in here, maybe. Yeah, that's probably close. Well, 24, 40 pages, 50 pages, something like that. I'm going to ink all of that and then I will come back. I will see y'all in a bit. Bye. I'm back. Well, it's not really taken me very long to ink these edges, so I thought that I would go ahead and do it online with you guys and chat a little bit. So my husband got to see something really cool the other day. He was out at the beach early in the morning and he saw a baby turtle making its way to the water. So that's something that we haven't seen here before, which happens every year. So it's, you know, it's sea turtle season, basically. So that was pretty neat. Normally we're not here at this time of the year, so we don't ever get to see the babies. But he got to see a baby. And also the other day, he was outside and he happened to see a fin poking out of the water, and it was a shark, y'all. It was 200 feet off of the coast, or off of the beach. And it was crazy. Greg said he thought it was probably about 5 foot. And that's technically the first shark that we have seen, like, roaming the waters. So I ran downstairs and ran to the stairs, or ran down the stairs and then up the stairs again to look out at the beach to see if anybody was in the water in there. And the beach was just dead. There was nobody out there, which was just kind of surprising because it was hot and it was in the afternoon. But that was a very good thing. I was thinking that they probably should have like a flag or something that, you know, we can raise, or some kind of a siren. I don't know, because there's often a lot of surfers out here. There's some really good waves in this part of the country. And we see surfers all the time. And people do get bitten by sharks. Nobody's gotten, you know, fatally bitten, thank goodness, that we know of. But they do, like, they paddleboard out or whatever, and they get bitten. You know, you wouldn't, and maybe you would think this. I don't know that I would think this, but sharks actually kind of like the shallow waters. I mean, all the bites that have occurred in a shallow area, pretty close. I forget what you call that, in the surf. So you have to be really careful around these parts, because there's definitely shark out there. Which I've never been in that water. It's past my waist, and that was asking a lot. I stick my feet in. That's so sad, isn't it? I stick my feet in, but that's really about all. As far as, you know, getting in and swimming, I can swim. I am just deathly afraid of sharks. And I would have to blame that on my biological father. When I was younger, back in the day when Jaws came out, we went to see it at a drive-in. I'm pretty sure it was a new release at that time. I think I'm going to date myself here, but I think I was around 10 years old. I might have been younger than 10, I'm not sure. But my dad took me and my brother to see that at the drive-in. And I might have been, no, I had to be about 10 years old. And then the second feature was piranhas. So I love to swim in pools and, lakes and and rivers, but I still always have that, in rivers I still have that, there's something weird, beneath me kind of feeling, that little paranoia, but I do swim in rivers, so, but oceans, I'm a little deathly afraid. I'm afraid of jellyfish too, and stingrays, and big waves. There's probably a lot of things I'm afraid of down there. I just think that beach is just so massive, that ocean. I tell you, when you look out at it, it doesn't stop. There's no ending to that river, or that ocean, I mean. It's just so huge and so overwhelming. So, I am not a swimmer in the ocean kind of person. And especially now that we've actually really seen a shark. My husband, he's caught a couple of sharks before, but they were little. They were only about this big. And so it wasn't a real big deal. But to actually see one, it's pretty scary. But that's how it is. We got the Loch Ness monster in the lakes, and oh gosh, and snakes. Oh, yeah. I love swimming pools, though I will say, when we lived in another place before we came here to where we live now, we had a pool, and that pool was in Florida. It was kind of close to Orlando, and we lived behind a lake, and alligators were really popular there. But anyway, so no, we didn't find an alligator in the pool, but my husband was in there swimming, and then all of a sudden he saw something floating towards him, and it was a snake, y'all. And that's like normal. And you know what kind of snakes are in Florida? I don't think that's the kind that was in the water, and if it was a baby. It wasn't very big. But there's corals. I think they're corals. Hey Greg, are those coral snakes? The ones... Yeah, coral snakes. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. But coral snakes are like some of the worst. Our neighbor, when we first moved into that house, our neighbor came over and told us that he had killed a coral snake in his yard. And that's those are poisonous. So those are not just your average everyday black snake or grass snake or, fortunately in Maryland, we just have like black snakes that I know of and that I care to know of. But they're not really poisonous. But Florida has some very poisonous snakes. And it seems like I complain a lot about the wildlife. I really don't. It's just so different from where I'm from or have been. So I think it's neat. Like, I think y'all would appreciate to hear about the differences, because I would, and I do, I like to know about different places, even though I haven't been there, because I think it's kind of neat. But, Florida is a great place to live, and there's always a price. I think I've said that before. Be careful. And that, my mother used to say, be careful what you wish for. You may get your dreams. Your dreams may come true. But, that usually comes along with a price. But that's with everything, though, so. If you know that going in, then you're not bitter about it. And just take it as it comes, which is how I try to be. Alright, yeah, these are going to be so pretty. I just love this. But people that are from Florida, native Floridians, none of this stuff bothers them. Like, they're not afraid of all that stuff. It's just every day for them. you know, sharks and alligators and snakes, you know. It doesn't bother them at all. My neighbors, back where we lived before we live here, they were really close to the lake. They had a boat. We were about 100 yards from the lake, and they were like directly on the lake. And so the gators would come up in the evening, and you could hear them bellow. I mean, like you could throw a rock. I'm telling y'all. And it didn't bother them. And they had small children, and they had dogs. And I guess they just learned how to live around them. They weren't there all the time. It's just in the evening, the alligators, that's when, you know, if you've ever heard anything about alligators get hungry in the evening. So usually people think they're pretty good in the day. That is my phone. I'm going to answer it, and I'll be right back, and we're almost done with this. Alright, I'm back. And I just have one more left to do. Okay. It's a little rainy outside right now. I hope y'all have some decent weather. We are getting some weather from somewhere. Alright, so got all those done. And I'll have to check my order, make sure that it's in the right order. But aren't they so cute? You're so tickled with them. Alright, so now I want to work on this. Uh-oh. My Poppin', she knows it's almost time to be off work. So she is begging for attention. Sorry, y'all, I'm petting her. She doesn't scratch my leg hardly ever, but when she does, you have to listen. Alright, she's not going to stop there. She's, Pop, what is it? What is it? Do you need to go outside? Is that what it is? Hmm? Do you want to go outside? Huh? You want to go outside? No. She doesn't like to go outside. I don't know if I should do these edges. I guess I kind of made my mind up there real quick, didn't I? So I checked my shipping, and I think Kim should get my cards today. I know it's so late. I just had no idea that it would take so long to ship to Washington. That is something that I will not forget again. But I don't know. I had heard someone mention on another video that they were really struggling with shipping also. I think I might have heard that from 2 people, so I don't know what's going on. I just don't understand. I'm used to things getting there the next day. Of course, I didn't do next day, but if I would have done next day on a package that weighed 3 pounds, y'all, it was going to be $70. Can you believe that? I mean, I was thinking that I could just order stuff from Joann's, and I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? I could have just shipped from somebody else. But no, that was a different deal. So, all right, and I got to ship my my grandgirls' birthday presents out this weekend. I say grandgirls, just one. Kayla's birthday is at the end of August, and Lacey, my daughter-in-law, her birthday's at the end of August too. So I got to ship all that out next week. Which I didn't get her box decorated yet, so I am running really behind. Oh, you know what? I'm out of tape. Ugh. That would figure. There's nothing worse than going for your tape gun and it's out. Alright, well, y'all don't have to watch me change this. I will change it and I will be right back. Alright, I got it loaded up. And I'm just going to use my ATG. That should be sufficient. And I guess this is going to be the top cover. I need to commit to that. And I think there's not much difference, so I'm just going to choose it. And I did not cut the holes in this. I just tried to center it. The way I centered it was I tried to put as much room up here as I have here, or margin, or whatever you want to call it, and just kind of ignored that whole area right there. It would just be too hard to try to match up those holes. So I opted to not even mess with that. But I painted it, so I think it still looks cohesive. And you know, that last little mini that I did where I used my Zutter, I felt like punching through that chipboard and 2 layers of paper, because that's what I did as I punched through that, and I felt like it kind of tore through it versus a clean cut. So that did kind of bother me just a little bit. I would not, you know, you couldn't see it, but I knew, you know. Oh, I just think that's so pretty. Look at that. Look how sparkly. Y'all, on this glitzy paper, nothing comes off. And this may even be the Recollections brand. This may not be the glitzy, but I had this paper just kind of laying around, and apparently I was going to use it one day. No glitter. No glitter falls off whatsoever. So I've been saving it for the perfect project, because I don't know where the full pad is. It's hidden somewhere. It's in a safe place. Somewhere up there. And those paper pads. Alright. And I'm thinking I'm gonna once I put the ring on there and close it up, I think I'm gonna put some ribbons on there. That's what I'm kind of feeling. So, y'all ever have that problem where your tape comes up? I tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with this ATG. Okay. It's totally worth it, you know. The ownership, it's totally worth owning it. Like, I would always recommend it, but sometimes it can be a pain. Alright. That's interesting. That piece looks a little on the crooked side, oddly. My margins are straight, but my paper is not. Do you see that? Well, that'll have to go on the inside. There we go. It'll go like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put this right here. So pretty. I'll just have just enough little sparkle right there. Though we will be breaking out the stickles for sure.